Shark, Fortnite's youngest pro. At just 14 years old, he's earned over $100,000 in competitive tournaments in the past few months alone. But this didn't happen overnight. To understand how he got here, we have to go back to the very beginning. Shark was born on June 14th of 2011 in Romania. Not much is known about his personal life. His real name and background are still a mystery. But what we do know is impressive. In just the past year, he's already made 6 figures playing Fortnite, and that's insane for anyone, let alone a 14-year-old. He first competed in a tournament back in 2019 when he was only 8 years old. The minimum age to compete is 13, meaning he technically wasn't even allowed to play. But since he wasn't placing or winning anything yet, Epic didn't really enforce it, and let's just keep this low key. In that first tournament, he placed 9,641st. He kept grinding, playing every event he could, but success didn't come right away. It wasn't until July 30th of 2023 that he finally broke through, placing 184th in a solo victory cup and earning his first prize money. A few months later, he followed it up with 37th and 15th in another solo victory cup, earning 200 bucks. It looked like all that grinding was finally starting to pay off, and that it would translate into FNCS success, but that wasn't the case. In Major 1 of 2024, Shark failed to make it past the open qualifiers. He did continue to earn in solo victory cups, but his real goal was to prove himself in FNCS, but he couldn't take that next step. He did manage to reach round 4 and place 201st, but once again it wasn't enough to qualify for the group stages. But this is where his perseverance really showed. Most players would have slowed down or lost motivation after repeated failures, but not Shark. He kept grinding, kept competing, and kept improving. He continued to find success in solo victory cups, and while those tournaments don't mean much in the bigger picture, they prove something important. Shark had elite mechanics, strong mental, and the persistence to keep going. It was only a matter of time before everything clicked, and in Major 3, it finally did. Shark qualified for his first FNCS semifinals, a huge milestone and proof that he was improving. But even then, the breakthrough wasn't complete. He fell short of qualifying for grand finals. Still, this was a turning point. Not long after, he qualified for a duo cash cup finals, placing 35th and earning $150, his best duo result at the time. It wasn't a massive win, but it showed that he could compete in more than just solo events. Then the consistency started to build. On September 1st in 2024, Shark queued into the Cypher PK Cup and ended up placing first, earning $6,000. While it was a console-only tournament and not as competitive as FNCS, it still gave a glimpse of his potential and what he was capable of when everything clicked. Shark then went on to earn money in 3 straight solo victory cups, proving that his performances were no longer one-offs. He was becoming a regular name on the leaderboard. The results still weren't huge yet, but the progression was clear. Shark wasn't just grinding anymore, he was getting closer. Then on October 10th of 2024, Shark finally had his first major placement. He placed 3rd in a dual cash cup finals, by far his best result to that point. And this time it wasn't a small earnings or decent placement. It was a top finish in a high level lobby. After months of grinding, failing to qualify, and slowly improving, Shark had finally proven he could compete with some of the best. But what makes this even crazier is that up until this moment, he had been playing on console. After this placement, he made the switch to PC, taking things to the next level. Not long after, Fortnite entered Chapter 7, where the FNCS format switched to trios. This gave Shark a huge opportunity to play alongside more experienced players. He ended up teaming with pro players Andy and Ju, players who clearly saw his potential. In the FNCS Divisional Cups, the trio placed 6th, 8th, and 26th. These were solid results, and more importantly, they showed steady improvement. For the first time, Shark wasn't struggling to qualify anymore. He was making finals regularly and slowly putting his name on the map. What used to be occasional good performances was now becoming the standard. Just a few days later, Shark placed 3rd in a solo cash cup finals, earning $3,200, his biggest solo result yet. He carried that momentum into FNCS Major 1. In the plans, he placed 58th, which was enough to qualify for the group stages. That's where it finally paid off. He placed 2nd, securing a spot into his first ever FNCS Grand Finals, a huge moment in his career. And he didn't slow down. Heading into Grand Finals, Shark won a solo cash cup finals, earning $8,000. Then on February 15th and 16th of 2025, Shark alongside Andy and Ju competed in the FNCS Grand Finals. They finished 22nd out of the 33 teams. While it wasn't an amazing placement, just making Grand Finals was a massive step forward. Going into Major 2, however, the trio split and Shark joined Trulex and Noah Riley. In their very first tournament together, they placed 11th in the Week 5 Divisional Finals. They continued to perform well, qualifying for the group stage with ease and placing 38th overall. From there, they stepped it up, placing 8th in their group and qualifying for grand finals. But despite the new team, the result stayed the same. Shark once again placed 22nd out of the 33 teams in the Major 2 grand finals. It was clear he was consistent, but still missing that deep FNCS run. In Major 3, he switched trios again, this time playing with Blaka and Kobek. However, things didn't go as planned. The trio placed 18th in the group stage, failing to qualify for grand finals through the traditional path. But Shark alongside Kobek and Blaka had one final chance, the last chance major. It came down to 3 games, win just one and they would qualify. But despite strong performances, they placed second in all 3 of the games, failing just short every time. It was devastating. After everything, Shark even thought about quitting, but in that moment he told himself one thing: he had come too far to stop now. And with that, Shark missed out on qualifying for the 2025 FNCS Global Championship. Following this LAN event, Fortnite announced a major change: the return of duos. This would completely shift Shark's career. On September 30th of 2025, he teamed up with Teeny. At the time, it looked like another duo forming, but it would turn into something much bigger. In their very first tournament together, they placed 12th in a performance evaluation cup. A solid start, but nothing crazy yet. But just 2 weeks later, it all fell into place. Shark and Teeny placed first in the Division 1 Cup Finals, earning $4,000 each. It was a statement win and a sign of what was coming. In the next Divisional Cup Finals, they placed 4th, then followed up by winning the Performance Evaluation Cup. The consistency was unreal, especially for such a new duo. At the same time, Shark was still performing individually, placing 6th in the solo series. It was clear now, this wasn't just a comeback. Shark had leveled up. Then 3 days later, Shark and Teeny won another Division Cup Finals, and he didn't take his foot off the gas. In the Nvidia G4 solo tournament, Shark placed first, taking home $4,000, and even winning a Nvidia RTX 5080. It was another big win, adding to his growing list of achievements. Heading into 2026, Shark continued that momentum. Alongside his duo Teeny, he qualified for the Reload Elite Series Finals, where the stakes were high. The top 2 teams would earn a spot at the Esports World Cup. When it mattered most, they delivered. Shark and Teeny placed first, earning $15,000 and securing their qualification to the Esports World Cup in Saudi Arabia, an event featuring a massive $75 million prize pool. This event will take place from July 6th through August 23rd of this year, and it will be the biggest challenge of Shark's career so far. Up until now, all of his success has come online, but at the Esports World Cup, he will be competing on LAN, where the pressure is completely different. Every mistake matters more. The best players in the world are in the lobby, and there are no excuses. It will be the first time we truly get to see whether Shark can keep his incredible run going on the biggest stage possible. But anyways, just 2 weeks after winning the Reload Elite Series, another huge moment happened. On March 28th of 2026, Shark officially joined Aurora Gaming as a part of the new Fortnite roster. At just 14 years old, he became a salarized professional gamer. Just think about how crazy that is. Just a few years earlier, he was an 8-year-old secretly playing tournaments he technically wasn't even old enough to enter. For years, he failed to qualify, struggled to make FNCS, and watched other players get the spotlight. But instead of quitting, he kept grinding, he kept improving, and eventually all of that work paid off. Now he's one of the fastest rising players in Fortnite. That brings us to today. We are currently in FNCS Major 1 of 2026, where Shark and Teeny have already qualified comfortably into heats. The duo has continued to land that wonky land, arguably the best POI on the map, and so far they look stronger than ever. We still haven't really truly seen Shark dominate in FNCS Grand Finals yet. His best placements have come in Cash Cups, Divisional Finals, and online events, but there's an important reason for that. Shark has improved more in the last few months than any other point in his career, and there hasn't been an FNCS Grand Finals since August of last year. The player who barely qualified for his first FNCS Grand Finals last year is not the same player we're watching now. Shark is winning major tournaments, signed to an organization, qualified to the Esports World Cup, and entering FNCS as one of the favorites. The only thing left is for him to finally prove it on the main stage.